Ohaneze Igbo, they released a statement very recently, and they're saying that certain Southeast leaders are delaying the release of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Now, remember that the first question I asked you was about Asari Dokubo, where he made a statement that Nnamdi Kanu is a criminal and that no court has actually freed him or bailed him, or and that if he is not a criminal, then let the court should be the one to decide that. And Ohaneze Igbo is now asserting, or rather disclosing, that some certain southeastern leaders are intent on ensuring that he remains in detention. A month ago, Kalu came out to tell us that negotiation is currently ongoing in the release of Nnamdi Kanu and that very soon he will be freed. But with what Ohaneze is saying now and what Kalu said about a month ago, how do we correlate both? What Kalu told us, what Kalu said to the people of the Southeast region, was it just to placate them, to support this administration? And then Ohaneze coming out to actually say that regardless of what we're hearing, but there are deliberate attempts to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu remains in incarceration. What are we supposed to believe?
Well, the reality is that if Ohaneze did make that comment, it was really infantile. Mr. Nnamdi Kanu is being held by the federal government. We have had instances of automatic release being effected by Mr. Bola Tinubu. So his sole authority who is holding Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, it's not even the judicial. It's just the person of Mr. Bola Tinubu. But the issue is this: we should not tie everything about the Southeast to the liberty or the wise of one person.
Okay.
The issues can continue. The discourse toward self-actualization can continue. But if those making so much noise or hue and cry about Nnamdi Kanu or trying to attribute his continued detention to some Southeast politicians are not being. They are just trying to create a crisis where none exists. No Southeastern politician is holding Nnamdi Kanu. The buck stops at the table of Mr. Bola Tinubu, and he is the one responsible, solely responsible for the continued incarceration of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu.
But how are we sure the president will do anything about it? Because we know Nnamdi Kanu was quite vehement against the personality of now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He never ruled out anything positive about him. So how will the president be geared towards ensuring his release? Why would the president want to infer or be part of the process? What if the president decides to let the court do its thing, or let the court, the justice system, take hold of it? Because he did not make any promise about Nnamdi Kanu during his campaign. So some persons will say he's not liable to interfere or intervene. It's all about the Attorney General of the Federation and the legal counsel of Nnamdi Kanu having to see how the political negotiation can take place to ensure his release. What if that's the case?
Well, the reality is that the release or non-release of Nnamdi Kanu is not subject to the judicial process. The courts have severally ordered for his release. The courts have ordered for his access to his doctors. The courts have made several orders, which have all not been complied with. So let us stop talking about the judiciary when it's on matters related to Mr. Platinum. So
that's why I asked you, what if he is not interested in having to do anything with this case? What if he has left it for the court to decide? Then what happens?
I agree. That's what I'm saying. The courts have absolutely nothing. If he's not interested, that is his own ballgame. Maybe that means that Nnamdi Kanu will stay there for the tenure for as long as Tinubu remains in office. If that is the cost he has to pay, okay. But the reality is this: let us stop calling about the judiciary or blaming any other person except Mr. Bola Tinubu for the continued incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu. That is the simple fact about it. So those who are interested should now address their angst, address their attention, their focus to Mr. Bola Tinubu, and not talk about the judiciary or blame any Southeastern politician. None of them has any powers to order the release of Nnamdi.